NBA trade speculations have reached a crescendo, with some particularly peculiar scenarios surfacing. These aren't just your run-of-the-mill, far-fetched rumors. Rather, they're the kind that, while plausible, still raise eyebrows at the mere suggestion. Some of these conjectures even border on the comical. Chief among these discussions are the swirling talks surrounding LeBron James. Over the past few days, chatter about potential trades involving the basketball icon has circulated, albeit mainly through obscure Twitter accounts. From cryptic emoji-laden tweets to purported game absences, the rumor mill has been churning out scenarios that, while initially bizarre, might not be entirely implausible upon closer inspection. Indeed, one could make the case for a LeBron trade benefiting the Lakers. Despite his enduring excellence on the court, factors such as his advancing age, impending free agency, and his tendency to exert influence within the team dynamics could prompt consideration of such a move. The notion of leveraging his trade value to bolster the team for the future while ensuring the retention of Anthony Davis is not entirely devoid of merit. However, it's crucial to underscore that there's been no formal request from LeBron for a trade, nor any substantial indication that the Lakers are seriously entertaining such a prospect. Both LeBron and his agent, Rich Paul, have emphatically denied any notion of a trade. While it's an intriguing thought experiment for Lakers fans, the reality remains, LeBron James being traded is firmly entrenched in the realm of fantasy, far removed from the constraints of real-world NBA dynamics. LeBron's trade history does include his move to Miami, albeit more as a strategic arrangement rather than a conventional trade initiated by him. However, it's essential to recognize that such trades involving superstar players typically occur at their behest. Considering the Lakers' current season trajectory, which is likely to persist for the next few years with LeBron still in the lineup, it's improbable that he'll seek a trade. Another intriguing rumor revolves around the Nets' reported opportunity to reclaim some of their own draft picks from Houston, which they had previously traded away in the James Harden deal. Instances of teams reacquiring their own draft assets are exceedingly rare in the NBA. We've also heard murmurings of Dejounte Murray potentially moving to San Antonio, with Atlanta possibly regaining a pick or two they parted with in the original Murray trade. While teams renegotiating protection terms on certain picks isn't unheard of, Houston's reported interest in Miles Bridges marks a unique twist in the trade landscape. Miles Bridges holds significant value for Brooklyn, especially considering Houston's ownership of the Nets' future first-round picks, a consequence of the James Harden trade that extends over the next few seasons, including the ongoing one. This dynamic has constrained the Nets from considering a complete overhaul of their roster. The notion of trading Bridges for these coveted picks has sparked a compelling debate within the NBA community. On one hand, there's the prospect of utilizing this opportunity to undergo a strategic rebuild, allowing the Nets to reset and potentially reshape their roster. However, the intricacies of the situation are not lost on observers. While the Nets could indeed trade some assets, the prospect of relinquishing too much could risk surrendering valuable draft assets, potentially including a high lottery pick in what might be a less stellar draft class. In essence, while the idea of trading Bridges for Houston's picks presents a tantalizing scenario for the Nets, the inherent risk of bottoming out without access to their own first-round selections adds a layer of complexity to the decision-making process. Some commentators view the potential trade involving Miles Bridges as a get-out-of-jail-free card for the Nets regarding the James Harden deal. Surrendering Bridges, who has performed well but not exceptionally this season, could theoretically rectify the balance of the trade. For Houston, acquiring Bridges would be a significant boon, adding a valuable asset to their roster. The proposed trade represents a unique opportunity for both teams. For the Nets, reclaiming their own picks holds more value than any other draft assets, making it the most advantageous scenario. Conversely, Houston stands to gain maximum value from these Nets picks, as they hold a special significance to Brooklyn. However, despite the potential benefits, rumors suggest that the Nets have emphatically rejected any notion of trading Bridges. Their firm stance indicates a strong desire to retain him. This resolute position echoes previous assertions that the Nets are unwavering in their commitment to keeping Kevin Durant, underscoring their determination to maintain roster stability. Despite the Nets' adamant stance on retaining male Bridges, recent NBA history has shown that unexpected trades can materialize, much like Kevin Durant's move to Phoenix and James Harden's transfer to Philadelphia, which initially seemed improbable. While I'm not suggesting an imminent trade, if there were a Bridges deal that aligned with Brooklyn's objectives, particularly one involving reclaiming their picks from Houston, it could materialize before the deadline. Brooklyn's organizational ethos includes a penchant for strategic ambiguity, often refraining from divulging their intentions publicly. This approach serves to maintain leverage in negotiations. Therefore, while they may currently assert their unwillingness to trade Bridges, their position could evolve as circumstances dictate. Meanwhile, in Houston, the sudden availability of Jalen Green has raised eyebrows. Despite his promising statistical performance and evident talent, the Rockets find themselves in a peculiar position. While Green has shown potential, Houston remains a team in transition, one significant piece away from ascending to the upper echelons of the Western Conference. This dynamic adds an intriguing layer to Green's availability and the Rockets' future plans. One significant hurdle for the Rockets in their quest for contention appears to be the absence of another dynamic backcourt creator. Despite initial hopes that Jalen Green would fill this role, his development trajectory hasn't matched expectations. While still a young and talented player, Green hasn't yet evolved into the game-changer the Rockets require. It's intriguing to observe Houston's apparent urgency to accelerate their competitiveness, especially considering their off-season acquisitions, such as acquiring Steph Adams, aimed at bolstering their roster for the future. The recent rumors surrounding Green's availability underscore a shift in Houston's approach. Previously committed to his development, the Rockets now seem inclined to prioritize immediate success. This shift in perspective raises questions about Green's long-term future with the franchise, a notion that seemed improbable at the start of the season, given his perceived foundational role within the team. Meanwhile, amidst the flurry of trade speculation, Dejounte Murray remains a focal point. While a move to the Lakers remains a strong possibility, Detroit's involvement in the discussions adds a layer of complexity. With Milwaukee limited in trade assets and the Nets seeking to bolster their guard rotation, the trade landscape surrounding Murray continues to evolve, with multiple teams vying for his services. The involvement of San Antonio in the Dejounte Murray trade talks appears to have diminished, while Detroit has unexpectedly emerged as a potential suitor. Speculation suggests a scenario where Murray could be paired with Cade Cunningham in the Pistons' backcourt, forming an intriguing duo given their size and defensive prowess. However, Detroit's interest in Murray raises eyebrows for several reasons. Firstly, the Pistons' current standing as a struggling team raises questions about the immediate impact Murray could have on their fortunes. With Detroit languishing near the bottom of the league, the addition of a high-priced player like Murray seems incongruous with their rebuilding trajectory. Furthermore, relinquishing assets, potentially including promising young players like Jalen Ivey, for a player of Murray's caliber seems counterintuitive, particularly considering Ivey's potential upside and cost-effective contract. While the rationale behind bolstering the roster to avoid a historically poor season is understandable, the prioritization of Murray within Detroit's current context appears perplexing. Nevertheless, such rumors add an element of intrigue as the NBA trade deadline approaches, serving as fodder for speculation and discussion among fans and analysts alike.